The gunsmith has gone through some dramatic changes.
Definitely has.
We first was able to tune weapons. Now we can't tune stuff no more.
Which I'm glad about,
Now
to be honest.
We're just basically at regular attachments, right? So you just swap attachments out. You just try to figure out like what helps you get the best control for your gun in 2024.
Right.
No, you're wrong. There's a science behind this. And one of the biggest add-ons is the list, the actual graph for what attachments do to your gun. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware that there is a list, but there is a list in the game. And when you put on an attachment, you can open up this list and it'll show you the grand scheme of things. When it's green, that means
it's adding, a positive.
Right? It's good.
It's good.
But not everything that's green is technically good for your gun.
Also, not everything on the advanced settings is accurate.
Right.
So take that into consideration as well.
Without further ado, we're not going to waste no time. We finna break this down. You going to like it. Drop a like, a comment. Let's go. First, we're going to start off with the muzzle, just to take you over to the screen and how to actually get there. So this is how you get to the advanced stats in the gunsmith. Tap the muzzle, any attachment, and then hit show details. Here, this is where the entire game opens up. This is where we learn all the information. Now, as Jay said, some of this information is not always correct. Most of them MW3 weapons are correct, but the MW2 weapons are sometimes chalked.
It's some pretty wonky stuff with the MW2 guns.
So these are the basic stats of this gun, right? We got a headshot damage of 46, which is what makes this gun so amazing. Torso, lower torso, 36. This damage has been explained to everybody that the torso and lower torso are the same thing, like arms, torso, and then a little bit like the crotch is still like whatever the torso damage would have been last year. So all the damage multipliers are like, there's no damage multipliers. Like legs don't do different damage. Yeah. All of it does the same. Neck and head are the same. So that'll be 46 across the entire board. Mm-hmm. Upper legs on 32. And then you got like target flinch. So if you get shot at, you only have 0.8, which like sniper rifles, marksman rifles will have a way higher target flinch than an AR would.
And the N stands for newtons, by the way. I learned that from exclusive.
You said nudes?
Newtons.
Oh, newtons. Oh, okay.
Which, when you look at certain attachments like rear grips that affect like flinch resistance, that increase your flinch resistance, you want to pay attention to that target flinch because the lower it is, the lower flinch you have. The higher it is, the higher flinch you'll have. So when it comes to the damage, like before you even touch any sort of attachment, pay attention and look at your stats for the weapon. Mm-hmm. Because I understand that some people really love specific guns. But if your gun ain't doing the right damage, it don't really matter what attachments you put on that bit.
That's a fact.
You gonna get outgunned by everything.
This gun does not shoot Laffy Taffies, family. This gun shoots Snickers. So this is the reason why we're choosing this powerful weapon is because we want to show you how the stats affect this gun and why it affects it so crazy. So damage properties is one of those things that really won't change. Like this won't change much.
No.
Right? Like this won't change. But what will change is everything on the right side of the damage. So everything over here is subject to change. You can affect the damage range, you can affect the minimum damage range, and you can affect bullet velocity. These numbers are different. So for some numbers, if it goes up, it's a good thing. But for some of these categories, if it goes down, it's a bad thing. So if effective damage range, minimum damage range, and bullet velocity
Green
is
good. Green is good.
Green is good.
Green is great,
Meaning
actually.
It's going to go up. You're going to get more effective range. Effective range is just how can I get these properties at the most effective range, meaning as far as it can, as close as it can go, where can I get this at, right? Where can I get this damage range at? So you'll get these numbers at 33 meters to 53.3 meters, right? With a bullet velocity of 780. So if we go to these attachments and we start looking at these, you see how like the Spitfire, it's going to give you bullet velocity and it's going to give you effective range and it's going to give you minimum range. Everything just went up. So we went from 33.0 to 34.7. Now you guys notice it says 5%. 5% is not, 5% is crazy if it's 5% of 5 billion. If you get 5% of 5 billion,
that's crazy.
That's crazy. But getting 5% of 34 point, it's not that crazy.
It's cool. It's all right. It's all right. Like you get a little increase. You get a
Right.
little increase. So, if you want to use the Spirit Fire Suppressor for like a sniper support, you can do that. But like if this is your long range number one,
So be aware that not every percentage is always gonna give you the greatest outcome. Some percentages are different, and this is also for the negative side too. So if I were to go 34.7 and let's say we picked up a suppressor that does the opposite. Let's find something that does the opposite, right? So if we pick the Colossus suppressor, we get recoil control, right? But we're losing effective range and minimum range. Now it's 30. Look at the 33.0 goes down to 31.7. Is that a huge change? No, it's not.
Not really.
It's not. It's still there though. It's still there. In the middle of a gunfight, most gunfights, Jay, take place between 0 and 40 to 50 meters. A lot of gunfights take place between 0 to 60 meters. So this is why you have to keep that in your mind, especially for maps like Vondo and Ashika's Island. Those fights are even closer, way closer than Earth.
I was about to say, a lot of you guys, when you're building your class setups, also keep in mind what game mode it is that you're playing, because things like Urzikstan, the suppressor wouldn't really be good, especially if this is your long range meta number one. But if you're playing something like Vondo or Ashika, you could get away with something like this because, again, the map is condensed. It's a lot smaller. So, again, like you just said, gunfights on Vondo, Ashika, they more so take place between 0 and 40, maybe 50 meters. Maybe. But Ashika, even less, more like 0 to like 30, 35.
Yeah.
But Urzikstan, it can get kind of sticky. It can go between like 0 and 60s. No.
78.
No.
Yeah. And you shoot.
That suppressor ain't gonna cut it.
So again, the suppressors are very much so based off of what map you're playing on, because you're going to take hits, but then you're going to get increases to other areas. This barrel, this muzzle, I really wouldn't use this muzzle on this gun.
That's a crazy hit on your ADS speed, by the way.
This is a crazy hit. So a lot of people use the sonic suppressor. Some people use a lot of people use this suppressor because the Spitfire is just one of the best. It gives you the best bonuses and the most, yes, you're taking a hit on your ADS, but this is an AR. You're putting a muzzle on an AR, so you have to think other people are going to be thinking the same thing. They want more bullet velocity. They want more damage range. So a lot of people are going to use this natural muzzle. But let's say Trey, I'm not looking for a muzzle for range. I'm looking for a muzzle that's going to help me control this gun. Because let's be honest. If we come in here, we shoot this ram. This thing got some kick to it. I'm on keyboard and mouse. This thing got some kick to it. Do y'all see it? Look at this. Just not as soon as I fire, it's gone.
And I also want to add, when you're looking at your attachments as well, can we back out for a second? Like when you looking at the advanced settings, also hide the details and look at what the cons are. Because there's things that aren't listed on the advanced settings, like aim walking steadiness. That's not listed in the cons. So as you see, when he shot that ram, he's not even really moving like that, and that ram is kicking. So once you actually start trying to strafe left and right, that gun is going to be swaying. So the Spirit Fire, it's very great for range and bullet velocity, but you're going to need something to compensate for that aim walk steadiness. So essentially the goal is for all of your attachments to complement each other. So basically what one attachment has a con for, you have another attachment that makes up for that to create the perfect build for you.
So to add on Jay's point, here's one of the muzzles in the game that's going to give you way more control, right? We want recoil control. That's what we need for this gun. But we need that vertical. We need that horizontal. We need horizontal and we need gun kick. Those are two things for this gun. So because the gun kick and the vertical, a gun kick and horizontal is 14.3 and 20.4%. That's a big, huge percentage. Now, if you guys notice, if you look at the control, the higher it goes up, the worse the recoil gets. So if we go back to the Spitfire, right? You see how the recoil went from 16.08 to, what was it, 14, little bro? I think it went to 14. Let me see. So if I put in a Komodo, it goes from 16 to 12.64. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal, because like I said, in some instances, the number going greater is not always a good thing. So if the number's higher in the recoil setting, so if you got a gun that has a gun kick of 200%, big, you ain't controlling nothing. Every time you shoot, you are punting the football. I'm telling you now. But when you have a gun kick of only 5%, and that's because you put on a muzzle to take off the extra 10, 15%, that means that you have little to no gun kick. So the closer you get to zero in the recoil control category, the better your gun will behave. The better your gun will perform. So let's see, when we take out that horizontal, what happens now? Hey, we got a little bit more control.
Much more control.
Much more control. Nowhere near as bad as this just was, right? Before, it was kicking up here as soon as we started shooting. Now we have a little bit more control than usual, right? And of course I'm pulling down a little bit, but you can see a huge difference with this Komodo heavy on than me having on a suppressor that doesn't really do much. Now, mind you, the Ram 7, the reason why I picked this because this is like one of the hardest guns to control in the game. So to show you, to help you more so understand how these numbers really do work, this vertical number is such a big deal because this vertical is at 39. It can go even higher than this for some weapons. You want to get this as close to zero as you possibly can to have an overall balanced weapon. Now, the Komodo does get rid of the horizontal, but this vertical is still strong.
Now, I want to add one key pro that a lot of people don't notice when they're making their guns is if we go to the high details and then scroll over to the Cassis brake muzzle to your left.
Take me to the left.
Right. Cassis brake.
Yep.
Firing aim stability. That is something that is not paid close enough attention to. Firing aim stability essentially eliminates the muzzle flash and the visual recoil that you may have from your gun. So let's say, for example, let's put on the Cassis brake. Because me personally, I actually enjoy running the Ram now. I wasn't really rocking with it before, but once I put the Cassis brake on and I've tried it on multiple different guns, it eliminates a lot of the visual recoil, making it easier to shoot through it. So with the Cassis brake, you just shot all 3 targets. Did you just get a scanner repair?
Did I hello?
Did you just get a scanner repair?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
I mean, this gun just
It looked like you enjoying that Cassis brake over there, bro.
I actually, you know what's funny? This is the first time I'm actually hearing about this one and knowing that the
Slept
stats that
on.
it gives. I did
Slept
not
on.
know it gave this, little bro.
Very slept on, bro. Because the thing is, the biggest problem with the Ram is its horizontal recoil, not its
Yes.
vertical.
Yes.
Not its vertical. Vertical recoil is a lot easier to control than horizontal.
Yeah.
At least from a controller player.
Way
From a
easier to
controller
control.
player's perspective, horizontal, it's a lot harder than vertical. Vertical is just pulling the stick down.
Yeah.
Or pulling your mouse down. Horizontal, that's a different animal within itself.
I can honestly say on any input, I think that the vertical recoil is always the better option. You really don't want to deal with horizontal recoil. It changes whatever gun that you're using it, and it just makes it hard to keep it in control because now you have to go at hard angles to your left and to your right, and it just might not be the way that you like to recoil control. And this is why you need to understand how these stats work to get these stats to be better. So let's go to the next one. So let's say you were like me. I'm a hipfire player, so I love to hipfire my shots first and then ADS. So any type of attachment that I'm looking for, it's always in, like when I'm looking for attachments to shoot first and then hipfire, and then ADS second, I'm always looking through this category to understand, like, okay, like what can I use here for better hipfire? This is the same thing as the recoil control. The closer you are to zero, the better that these stats get. So if you're using something like this Stovo is one of my favorite lasers. If you go to the Corvus, you see how the numbers are going to get lower. So the hipfire spread for 2.5 goes from 2.5 to 2.3 because now we get 12% increase. Now, yes, this doesn't sound like 12% increase is a lot, but it is, especially because this is an AR. And you're trying to give an AR more of a sense of hipfire when you're shooting those couple of shots, and then you're going to ADS after. It's not hip fire completely, just a couple of shots in the beginning to get to land before you actually ADS. Closer to 0, the best stats you could possibly get. The closer that we get any of these to 0, with tac stance to 0, looks crazy. Hip fire spread to max, you get this to even lower number than 6.8. That means that all of those bullets at its max hip fire will hit. No bloom, no spread random. Closer to 0 you get, the better this accuracy gets.
The tighter your crosshairs are, which if I were you guys, I would definitely turn your crosshairs back on if you do just only use a dot.
Yes.
Because the crosshair spread makes a big difference this year than what it has in Modern Warfare 2019 as well as Modern Warfare 2, especially if you're a hip fire specialist like Trey.
Yeah, there is a, I just want to just show you guys what Jay's talking about. So the reason why you don't want it to have it on static, like your crosshairs, you see all those crosshairs, like the crosshairs moving wiggly without me, like the white dot is going one area. That's where I'm looking at. But the gun has to follow along wherever that white dot is. And if the white dot is there first, then the barrel comes second. That means that even if I were to turn and shoot, this is not, my bullets aren't hitting. My bullets aren't hitting where the white dot is hitting. My bullets are going wherever the crosshair is going. It sucks, but it's just how this game is made. So when you have let's say you have on a laser that tightens up, like if I shoot regular, you see how the crosshairs are widening out, spreading? The closer we are to 0, the more we can get rid of that spread like that. So all of these bullets, there's no crosshair damage marker. You just need to know where I'm shooting at. Just look where I'm shooting at, and you'll be able to tell exactly if those bullets are hitting or not. When I go into tac stance, and I love tac stance, because we have on something that negates tac stance, and I'll show you guys this attachment. Again, all of these attachments inside of the gunsmith are super important. They all play such a big role. The closer that we get to 0, the more that the crosshairs will stay tightened up and they won't move. So this laser that I just showed Jay earlier today, it's called the Verdict. This gives you CQC accuracy while sliding. It gives you sprint to fire speed, and it gives you hip fire attack spread. These numbers, 13.8 all across the board, plus sprint to fire speed. Yes, they can't see your laser. That's one thing that they can, but they can't see when you ADS. These are all getting the gun closer and closer to 0. So what makes this kind of wild is if you're using the crosshair. When I go into tac stance, y'all notice how the crosshair is not moving. If I regular hip fire this, it goes wild crazy. But if you tac stance it, it's almost like the crosshair doesn't spread out at all. That's the beauty of using the gunsmith, because the gunsmith will tell you if you have something that you got something that's broken, or something that's not broken. All you have to do is just use the gunsmith. Yes, you can use TrueGameData. That's beautiful to use, but you should know how to go into the gunsmith, manipulate your own weapons, create what you want to create, find whatever you want to find, because when you find your own builds, then when you use their builds, you're like, okay, that's for his play style. I got to make it for my play style.
But websites like TrueGameData are very key and very important because they give you the extra information that you don't get from in-game.
Yes.
And when you look at the attachments on TrueGameData's website, shout out to TrueGameData, by the way, they break down the attachments on an even deeper level to make it even more understanding for you.
Yes.
And simpler to understand, so that you're not just putting things together just because you see your favorite content creator or your favorite streamer do it. Like, no, I'm putting this stock on this gun because I like that this stock gives me this benefit. Yeah. But then I'm using this laser because this laser complements this that this underbarrel doesn't get. Like with the TrueGameData is basically an even more advanced way to understand and break down these attachments so you can create and craft better class setups for you. If you feel like, okay, I'm looking at these attachments, but I feel like that there's more that I can know. Right. That's what TrueGameData is for.
Right.
And sim.gg.
The next category is touching on multi-functioning attachments. So we just talked about attachments that give you like, bullet range, right? Like effective damage range and bullet velocity. And then you get the plus for that. But then some attachments give you a negative for this, for the recoil control. Okay, so here are the other attachments that affect you in the more handling and mobility. So the closer you are to 0 in these categories, the better these categories get. So if I have a movement speed of 5.1, if I get to a 4.3, that means that I'm moving even faster.
But having a 5, like having a specific number, isn't always a bad thing of seeing the red. It's not always a bad thing. Like, for example, the gun like the Rival.
Right.
The Rival has the fastest sprint to fire time in the SMG class. So if you're putting on different attachments and you see like your ADS time is affected by like maybe like 2% and it's in the red, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing at all. No. Now, once you start getting to like 20% red, 30%, okay, nope. Take it off.
Yeah.
Take that off. Because a lot of these gunfights, especially in Modern Warfare 3, everybody's moving at lightning speed. So the biggest keys when it comes to close gunfights, like using subs, sprint to fire, movement speed, ADS speed.
Yeah.
Low recoil, that comes naturally because a lot of the subs don't really have any recoil. So, you know, you have that. But when it comes to using closer range weapons, ADS, sprint to fire, movement speed. Big parts.
And so I wanted to add just a little bit more clarity. Apologies.
Excuse me.
The mobility is the higher. I meant to say handling. I'm sorry. I meant to say handling. So for handling, the closer that you get to 0, the faster everything gets. So if you're at an ADS speed of 230 and you get an ADS speed of 200, that is fast.
That is amazing. Actually.
That is amazing to get an ADS speed of 200 or 180 or 170. That is amazing to get a sprint to fire speed of 66. You're done. That's De'Aaron Fox, bruh. You're fast. Your weapon is quick. The counterpart of it is that it destroys your recoil.
Is that the no stock?
This is the no stock. I mean, this thing, it destroys. I mean, look. When you put something like this on, yes, you get speed. Look, I'm way faster. I'm way quicker. Even in attack stance, I'm way faster. But do you see, look at the recoil now. You see how strong the recoil is? You can control this, don't get me wrong. You can definitely control this. But this is not something that you really, look, this is a lot of work you got to put in to control this. And if you're just not one of those players that's not going to sit there and do that, I'll go in and learn it. But a lot of people I'm not finna use a no stock on this. It makes this gun terrible. Like,
unless your favorite content creator or streamer is using it.
Right. So if you're not that, don't understand what this is really for. This is so that we can get the max speed we could possibly get. So we can get quicker in all areas. We get quicker attack stance at a 7 from 7.2 to 7.5. We get a faster ADS speed. We get a faster sprint to fire speed. Like we get a 59 to a 61. All these numbers increasing, going up means we're getting faster. The character's getting faster and quicker, right? When the handling numbers go down, that means that the character's getting faster and quicker. So in certain categories, you'll have the plus means the numbers go up. The green means the numbers are going up. Then you have categories where if the numbers are going up, the numbers are getting worser. So if these recoil numbers go from 0.82 to 11.22 horizontal, that's plus 36. This is terrible. This is horrible. Look at your gun kick. You went from a 42 to a 59. You're done. You're not shooting at nothing, bro. You're going to hit the street lights before you hit a person. So be aware of when you're in the gunsmith, what are you truly trying to create? What are you truly trying to put together? What gun are you really trying to make? Because some guns you can baseline make them the same. You can't make a gun that behaves, even if it's the recoil control is down to the right. Mm-hmm. You can still make a baseline. Okay, I got rid of all the horizontal. So this is how I like my guns to the right. When I recoil them to the right, how I like these to feel. Then my guns to the left. You have certain weapons like the SV8 is a left control. You have to pull down to the left in order to control that weapon. You need to have a feel for those guns. You have to have a general baseline of how you like to recoil control to the left side, how you like to recoil control to the right side, and you have guns like the TAC Eradicator. They just go straight up and down.
Yep.
You just pull straight down.
And I think personally, when making your guns, you should always make your guns with specific intentions. Before you even put any attachments on, I usually ask myself like 3 to 4 questions. Okay, what am I aiming for? Okay, I'm aiming for quick ADS speed, mobility, sprint to fire. This is if I'm building a sub, and low recoil. If I'm building an AR, I think, okay, I want bullet velocity, lowest recoil as possible, damage range, recoil control.
Yes.
So every time you're creating your guns, don't just be throwing stuff together just because you see, oh, there's green here. This has to be good. No. Actually ask yourself what type of guns you're trying to create and build and then actually take the time to look at the stats so that you can see, okay, if I have this attachment on, this is affected.
Yeah.
Okay, but if this is affected, what if I use this to counteract this? And then what if I use this to counteract? Once you get to that flow and you understand what you're looking at,
Yeah.
you will then start to have fun being in the gunsmith, and it won't just feel so redundant or repetitive, or you'll just be looking for other people's class setups, and you'll actually enjoy creating your own, and you'll be able to create your own meta within the meta. Because where we're at now with the recent weapon balancing that they made, the Swarm is still very good after its nerf. Don't get me wrong. It's still very good. But now you have guns like the Striker, which is actually better now. The Striker 9, which is better now. The Rival, which is better now.
The AMR 9 is
The
better.
WSP 9, which is still slept on in my opinion. After using it, I'm gonna be honest, bro. That's that gun top 3.
They're like going into the gunsmith, man. You can make your guns whatever you want them to be. Without the tuning, it just makes it to where you got to be very specific with your attachments. Just have intent when you come in here. It's about starting. It's about just looking at the numbers and realizing, okay, this is what I want this to do. This is what I want more of this control. You're going in, you recoil a gun with nothing on it. And then you go, okay, I'm gonna build it stage by stage. You don't just put 1,000 things on it because you have no clue what you're looking for. Before you touch the gun, shoot the gun regular with nothing on it and figure out, okay, let me learn the regular pattern. Then how can I put attachments on to better get to my play style? And that's where these advanced numbers come from. If you enjoy videos like these, we got way more coming up. This is just the start, the tip of the iceberg for you guys to understand how Call of Duty actually works when it goes into making your own weapons, making builds that's good for you, instead of just nitpicking off every YouTuber that makes a video. Mind you, shout out to all those guys that do it, because even we do it. But I don't want y'all to just be people that just get fish. I want you to be a fisherman yourself. So sometimes you can come and give me a class if I need one. I don't know. Just want to make sure that y'all have the same information that Jen and I have information too. So, little bro, take us out, man.
With all that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like the video, comment on the video, and share this video with other people so that people know that it's a new dawn of COD, bro. Enjoy being in the gunsmith. Don't just always steal other people's setups, but enjoy creating your own. With all that being said, we'll see y'all in the next video.